We are fast approaching the release of EA FC. We are just a few weeks away. And to mark the occasion, we're going to go through the best way in which you can start Ultimate Team. And this year, even though there is still an Ultimate Team, it's slightly different from previous years based on how EA are staggering the release. And depending on what you will do, will depend on how you best start Ultimate Team. But don't worry, because we're going to go through absolutely everything. But before we do that, if you are still going through FIFA 23 Ultimate Team and you do want to have a massive send-off for the final few weeks, then there is no better place than SkyCoach. SkyCoach offers cheap, fast and reliable FIFA 23 coins so that you don't need to grind during these times. If you're completely done with FIFA 23, well, EA FC is just around the corner and SkyCoach is getting ready. There aren't coins available as yet, but the second that EA FC releases and coins are available, you will be able to purchase them, setting yourself up way better than if you were to go and buy FC points. Anyway, the best way to start Ultimate Team, the correct way, it comes down to two separate paths. You have the Ultimate Edition and the Standard Edition. Now, depending which one you buy here will depend on how you go about it, because there are some extra things that you could do. For example, the Ultimate Edition releases on the 22nd of September, and it used to be that the Ultimate Edition would release 3 days before the Standard Edition. That's not the case this time. It's a full week, much longer. And it also used to be the case that you would get early access with a subscription to EA Play, and you would get this about 5 days before the Ultimate Edition. All of that has changed. The Ultimate Edition releases a week before the Standard Edition, and EA Play, as well as likely the web app, the companion app, pretty much everything related to EA FC Ultimate Team releases the exact same day on September 22nd. So it means that we need to do some moving about on how we best prepare. For those who have pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition, you will start on the 22nd. For those of you who have got the Standard Edition, you either have to wait until the 29th or you can get access with early access and the web app. If you are going to be going through early access, you need to play it out the way that we used to. You'll get 10 hours early access, but only use that to play games. You do not want to waste that time by going through the menus, by trading, by completing objectives, by completing SBCs, because all of that can be done on the web app, and the web app does not have any time limits. So you would need to switch back and forth as you go through early access to play games, collect coins, but the second that you finish that game and finish progressing through any of the game modes, you back out of Ultimate Team, close down the application, and then you'll log on to the web app. The web app where you can trade, buy your players, build your team, and complete any SBCs. That is a major difference of what you need to do based on what type of edition you go for. But once you're into Ultimate Team, the intro is more or less the same. You'll need to go through, claim your starter team, claim your kits, claim your badges, all of that stuff. Once you get into the main menu, that is where you'll be able to claim your loyalty packs if you have any. Loyalty packs are there in a way to reward you if you've played consecutive FIFAs in a row. So if EA FC is your very first year, you're going to have no loyalty packs. However, you may have some pretty low and cheap starter packs. If you played FIFA 23, you will then have a few loyalty packs. If you went all the way back and played FIFA 09, you'll have a lot. You'll have the most that can be given out. A side note to this, players are assuming that because we are going into EA FC 24 and not FIFA 24, that EA want to separate themselves as much as possible from FIFA. So potentially we could see EA FC 24 as being the new founder year. But with this, it's unlikely for EA to announce this year. It'll be something that we'll find out years from now, but it is certainly interesting. Your loyalty packs can really set you ahead. You may be able to build a full gold team, or potentially you could get lucky to get some insane players which can either be sold onto the transfer market or kept within your club to really push you ahead. Whatever you pack here, especially if it is during the Ultimate Edition and early access, it's normally best to hold on to it. Prices tend to be low at this point, and you can look back at previous years as what has happened to some of the highest rated players within the game or the best players within the game. a lot of them have increased massively. I remember Erling Haaland last year was about 50, 60, 70k during the early access, suddenly jumped up to 200-300k by the time FIFA 23 released. That would have been a crazy investment, but you're also going to feel pretty screwed over if you were to go and sell him at that lower end. For those with the Ultimate Edition, remember that you have 4,600 FC points. What you do with these is entirely up to you. You can go and throw them into Foot Draft and go through there. That could be an online draft, a single player draft, or you can go and open as many packs as you want. Well, until 4,600 FC points are gone. If you're not sure what to do, we have already recorded a video breaking down exactly the best way to go and use your FC points depending on the type of player you are. And the answer may surprise you. So once you're done with this video, definitely head over to there. Once you open all the packs on offer, the next step is to go and look at your objectives. Your objectives are quite simple. There's normally some starter objectives where you'll need to change your club name, apply contracts to players, apply contracts to managers, get chemistry, switch players around, put players in the correct position. There'll even be some other basic ones such as completing your initial beginner SBCs. It's worth going through all of these now. The rewards you get from this aren't anything crazy. You'll get some small contract packs, some bronze packs, and also a few coins. Normally the coins add up to about 600 coins in total, but we can still use them. Normally there's another objective as part of these starter objectives which require you to play a game. Don't do that just yet. Before you do that, I always recommend that you go out and use the coins that you currently have to start trading. Now, how you do this does depend on how many coins you do have. For example, if you have got the standard edition, you don't have any loyalty packs, and of course, because you don't have the ultimate edition, you also don't have the 4,600 FC points, the amount of coins you have is going to be quite low. It may be the 600 that you just got from these starter objectives. That's not a lot of coins, but it is still enough to trade with. You can use a bronze or silver trading method that we've gone through on this channel quite a few times. You can go and look at videos of how we used it at the beginning of FIFA 23. That will still be present within EA FC. If you've got more coins, a few thousand, potentially tens of thousands, because you got loyalty packs and also you had 4,600 FC points, you can look at the bulk bidder method. The bulk bidder method is always reliable at this time of the year. You can go in, bid on as many players as you want, and as long as you're just making a couple hundred coins profit, you will be able to make thousands of coins due to the amount of players you're able to buy. There are some trading methods that won't work this year because EA have made some changes to the transfer market and also to the way Ultimate Team works. For example, position modifiers are no longer within the game, so any position change trading methods will not work because there's no barrier to entry. Everyone can change the players whenever they want to. They don't need to go out and spend an extra 2, 3, 4,000 coins on a position modifier in order to change a player. Once you bought some of these trades and you've listed them onto the transfer market, that is when you go and play your game. If you are dealing with your starter team, I always recommend going into squad battles. And if you've got a full rare gold team, it's worth going into online if you're confident to do so. Reason for this is because at this stage, because Ultimate Team has been out for many years and the process of starting hasn't changed too much, that most people know how to start. They may not know how to start effectively, but they know how to start. They can build to a full gold team. So if you're going to go online, even on day one, it's likely that you're going to come up to some fairly good teams or relatively good teams for the time. If you're going into these games with a starter squad, you're going to be put at a disadvantage. So I always go to squad battles first to build up the team whilst also trading, and then eventually push to a rare gold where I can then go into online. After that initial game, you can go back to your objectives, claim everything. You should also get a pack reward out of this. And then from here, we go into a bit of a repetitive cycle, because what you need to do from this point is play games, trade, play games, trade, and keep on doing that over and over again. Yet again, if you're the player that's going into this where you don't have any loyalty packs, you've got no FC points, and you've got the bare minimum base because you're using the coins from objectives and games, What I recommend doing is keep on going through squad battles, keep on going through the trading methods, and then build up your coin balance to around 20 to 30k. It sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's not. Do not, and I repeat, do not play games, build up coins, buy players, and then use those players in your team. Because what happens is you're only going to be able to get anywhere between 500 to say 1,500 coins per game. That higher end comes down to if there's any coin bonuses as part of your seasonal rewards early on. There normally is. And if you're going to buy a single goal player every single time, it's likely going to take you 11 games to do so. Whereas if you were to play a game, get 1,000 coins, and then you were to go and use those coins to buy into players to trade with, by the time you play your second game, you will be able to get 1,000 coins from that again, but you'll also be able to get additional coins from the players that have sold. This will allow you to get to a much higher point a lot quicker. Yet again, hitting 20 to 30k only takes about 5 or 6 games, if you were to trade in between each game. And then once you reach that point, I always go for a team which is worth about 10 to 15k, half of the total amount of coins I currently have. Why do I do this? Well, it means that I'm not starting from zero again. I will have an additional 10 to 15k still within my coin balance, and I can still use that to trade and go through trading methods which are a bit more lucrative rather than having to go back to the beginning and build up from nothing again. This will help you get to the next big milestones of 50k, 100k, 200k, 300k, whatever amount of coins you want to build up to, however long you want to trade. It's easier to start with coins in the bank than having absolutely nothing. Yet again, if you do buy into the Ultimate Edition, you're not going to have to dedicate yourself to the grind as much of this. Although if you were to go and do this, you're just going to put yourself even further ahead. And the case of trying to push to 20 to 30k to build a team for 10 to 15k may not apply to you. It may be pushed to 100k because you're not too far away from it, and instead buy a team worth 50k. Leave 50k still within the bank so that you can carry on trading and build your ultimate team to those higher points, but more than anything, you're going to have a much more expensive team, and hopefully it's going to be doing a little bit better in game. From this point, what you do next is really up to you. Me personally, I like going through this loop of constantly playing games and trading. It's just what I enjoy. This year, I'm also probably going to mix in quite a few evolutions whilst I'm playing games. But if you want to be someone that goes through FUT Draft, or maybe you want to compete, go through division rivals and try and get into FUT Champions, the choice is yours. But really, what we've gone through is going to be the most efficient way in which you can start Ultimate Team. If you enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend clicking the next video on screen. That video has been specifically selected just for you. YouTube tracks everything that you enjoy watching, and they believe that this video on this channel is best for you. I hope you enjoy.